Starting. And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 6th episode of Exploring Star Trek Discovery. I am your host, Awesome Joe, the Awesome Geek. Oh, wait. Yeah, Average Joe, the Average Geek. I'm awesome, too. You know, that's cool. My brain is fried, guys. It's been a long week, and it's Tuesday. Anyway, with me as always are my bridge crew. Kevin Stallings, Pat Whitehead, and Will Smith is AWOL yet again. See, this time he will have a court martial. Oh God! Bad reference. Bad reference. But under Starfleet Uniform Code Zeta Alpha subsection 3B, he is absent without leave and shall be phasered.
Wow.
He will be sent to Telos 4.
Dilly.
So what's going on, fellas?
Not much.
Not much. Long week, like I say. It's only Tuesday.
Right, I'm ready for this week to be over with. All right. So everybody, before we get into today's show, there is a chance for everyone to win for subscribing to my channel. Because go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You'll see it on the watermark, one of these locations. If you're watching the rebroadcast, if you're watching it live, just go up here and click that subscribe button. And enter in for your chance to win your choice of subscription box for the month that we hit 100 subscribers. So you'll get your choice of the A-Box, the Geek Fuel, or the standard Loot Crate for the month that we hit 100 subscribers. Achoo! Oh, yeah, this episode's up to a rocket start. Yes, subscribe now. Enter in for your chance to win.
Joe, are you allergic to giving away free stuff?
You know, I may be, because it's not free to me.
Good enough.
That's one less subscription box I'll get that month, but that's okay. It's awesome. I'm happy. I mean, we hit 50. We're at 55 subscribers now on the channel, which is cool because I never thought that we would get 5, much less 55. So that's pretty cool. You know, our channel's up to like 6,000 total views. We got 55 subscribers, making that push to 100. And you know, it's all upward mobility from here as I celebrate with a Corona. Oh, so I just figured we'd go through some news today. Let's go ahead and get started on our news journey. Let's see. Where do we want to start? Let's start.
Jonathan Frakes dropping bombs.
You want to start with Jonathan Frakes dropping bombs? Let's start with Jonathan Frakes dropping bombs. Alrighty. So this article right here comes from IO9. Let me go ahead and share this with everyone. Let me hit my magic button. Let's see. Boom. Share screen. Share application window right here and share. Can y'all see this?
Yup.
Yep.
Right. So let's see what we got going on right here. So at a Trek convention, let's see. This is from IO9 right here. It says Jonathan Frakes lets slip an unexpected Star Trek Discovery spoiler. Talking with some fans, Riker himself, Jonathan Frakes, who also took a turn in the director's chair for an episode of Star Trek Discovery, shared an interesting tidbit about the upcoming series. And there is a spoiler warning here. So if you don't want any spoilers, go ahead and just fast forward a little bit or just mute your speakers for the next few minutes. The revelation comes from a stop on the Continuing Voyage convention tour in Chicago during a Star Trek The Next Generation reunion panel. According to 5 Year Mission, a Trekkie band that was in the audience at the time, Frakes shared that Discovery will be going to the Mirror Universe. Right here you can see the tweet from 5 Year Mission. We're going to talk about it. The news was later confirmed by Star Trek fan site Trek Movie, which talked to the band and other members of the audience. Notably, Frakes didn't say that the episode he directed is the one that goes to the Mirror Universe, nor did he offer any other information on the episode. But he did say that he has seen the pilot series and called it, quote-unquote, amazing, and that fan dread is unfounded. Okay, I want to interject right here. If Jonathan Frakes says it's amazing, I trust his Trek pedigree extensively. Like, Jonathan Frakes knows Trek. If Frakes is correct, this will be the fourth Star Trek series to visit the Mirror Universe, joining the original series, Deep Space Nine, and Enterprise. Notably, if the protagonists of Discovery themselves journey into the Mirror Universe, they will be the first such entrance in the entire timeline. Enterprise simply featured 2 episodes set in the universe and didn't have any of the crew cross over into it. So while the Mirror Universe is justifiably beloved, this could be an instance of the new series leaning too heavily on nostalgia. With a story set so close to the original series, leaning on aesthetics similar to the Abrams reboots, Discovery is going to have to work hard to step into its own identity. So, what do y'all think about that? That's an interesting conundrum that. Oops, I didn't present that to everybody. Here we go. Go ahead and do it. So now everybody can see what's going on here. Hit the right button. That might help. So here you can see the article right here, everyone. You know, got the spoiler, got this nice picture of Michael Burnham in the EV suit. Here's the tweet from 5-Year Mission. So, what do you guys think about this?
It wouldn't be a Trek. It wouldn't be Star Trek unless you went to the Mirror Universe in some way, shape, or form. So, hell, I have no problems with it. Let's do it. So,
absolutely, bring it on. It may be a little early in the series. I'm cool with it. And every other run, it was like season 2 or beyond that we went into the Mirror Universe. It's kind of like this fun kind of side quest that our crew goes on. But I mean, I'm cool with it being in the first season.
it's kind of Trek tradition nowadays.
It really is. Now, Voyager didn't have a Mirror Universe. Of course, they were separated from anything that would cause them to slip into the Mirror Universe. So that's one thing. So let's see. In this point in the timeline, they're full. The Mirror Universe is full Terran Empire. You know, they are the scourge of the galaxy. They are probably the humans are probably the Mirror Universe's Romulans. In a strange way. So it's going to be interesting. Now the question is if the Discovery crew is going to slip into the Mirror Universe, or if we're going to get some members from the Mirror Universe slip into the Prime timeline, and how that story is going to play out. So, what you think, Kevin?
I think we're going to see people from Discovery go into the Mirror Universe timeline. At least at first, you know, they may do more than one Mirror Universe episode during the run of the show. We don't know at this point.
Right? Oh, I mean, I think DS9 had a couple.
Yeah, DS9 had.
Yeah, they had several.
But yeah. Two or three, and they even had in each of those episodes was kind of a linked storyline. You know what I mean? You know, something was left in that episode. So.
And in each of the, interestingly enough, in each of the episodes, Joe, you'll like this. It featured the death of a Ferengi.
Yes, kill all the Ferengi, just straight genocide. It's not very tolerant and understanding. We're better than that. This is Star Trek we're talking about. Talking about Star Trek, and I've got my blended universes. I'm wearing the Firefly Serenity T-shirt with the USCSS Covenant hat. I'm just all mixed up over here.
Fourth wall breaking.
Okay, well, there's some implications with the possibility of a mirror universe. Well, if Jonathan Frakes says it, it's going to happen. So they are going to the mirror universe. We're going to see that. There's some interesting implications, okay? So mirror universes are usually caused by a space-time anomaly, a rip in the space-time continuum, something that would actually cause characters to cross the parallel universes. So that implies maybe that Discovery is going to be doing a little discovering in the first season, that it might not all be Klingon war.
Yeah,
That's a pretty interesting implication. So they're at least, at the very least, they're going to come across some kind of weird spatial anomaly that is going to, trigger things.
It could always be a transporter.
Transporter malfunction. See, that's always a grand possibility as well. So.
Yep. Transporter malfunction. Do an ion storm.
Any number of things. Now, one of the things that we've always seen is that in the mirror universes, our characters are always in positions of power. In the mirror universe, they're always, even Kira Nerys in Deep Space Nine, her Bajoran self was in a position of power within the Terran Empire.
She was bad, eh?
So it's going to be interesting to see, where Captain Gabriel Lorca, Jason Isaacs' character, is in the mirror universe. Because if he's a BA in this universe, he's probably going to be a violent, murdering, badass psychopath in the mirror universe. And I'm okay with that.
Just put a face on the head right off the bat. Boom.
Absolutely. Of course, at the same time, look how many promotion shots that we've seen of Gabriel Lorca, of him carrying a phaser, holding the phaser out, ready to fight. He's not going to be a character that shies away from conflict. I'm sure it's going to be, well within the realm of Starfleet protocol and, the nature of exploring and discovery and the Prime Directive and all that kind of good stuff. But if he's got to kick your ass, he's going to kick your ass. Like Kirk double fisting style, if he has to. So yeah, I'm definitely pretty stoked about seeing a mirror universe episode in Discovery. But like I said, it may be a little early, but that's okay.
How many episodes is Discovery right off the bat?
The first season is going to be 15 episodes.
Wow.
And it's probably going to be 15. It wouldn't surprise me if it sticks at 15 episodes throughout its run. Now, it's not unheard. That's about in line with the first season of Next Generation, which was a short season. But then after that, every season of Trek afterwards has been 24 or 25 episodes.
So 15 episodes. See how the first season goes. If it's good, do the normal order of episodes, I guess.
See, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do a full 24 episodes because of the nature of how they're telling this story, with the long form meta plot as opposed to the short episodic episodes. The serialized shows work best over a short run. We can see that on a lot of deep cable shows. The Strain, Preacher, Walking Dead. All of those shows. They have shorter runs than your standard 24-episode network TV show. And I think that kind of serves the story, so they're not kind of stretching it out, ad nauseum. They can give this kind of tight, defined story. So it wouldn't surprise me if it sticks with 15 episodes in perpetuity.
So basically, if you miss the episode, you're pretty much screwed.
Well, that's the good thing about them being on demand. If you miss an episode, you don't have to rush home in the late '90s to put a blank VHS tape and hopefully you got it programmed properly to get the season finale of Voyager. We all remember those days. where the VHS tape, they had that one VHS tape that we re-recorded 100,000 times until the tape broke.
Many of a Dragon Ball episode.
Right, yeah, we don't have to worry about that now. It's all streaming, so that's good. Oh, I was like, oh crap, I missed an episode. Let me just go ahead and click that button right there. And we're good to go.
Watch it all over again.
Absolutely. Watch it 15, 16, 25 times, which I'm probably likely to do. All right, so let's save the discover of the Klingon conversation for last, because I think we're gonna have some really good we're having some really good talk about that one right here. All right, let's talk about let's do right here. Okay, go ahead and share the screen, application window, share. And go ahead and present to everyone.
Oh, that's cool.
Star Trek Discovery reveals titles of first 4 episodes. Let it be known that I love this image right here. Michael Burnham doing the Vulcan salute with the USS Discovery kind of flying through right there. I really want this as a poster. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous promotional image. So here's the article. Now this is from CBR.com and was posted 10 hours ago by Jason Cohen. Let's see what we got right here. Ahead of the Sunday premiere of Star Trek Discovery, CBS has revealed the titles of the first 4 episodes of the franchise's television revival. In the premiere episode, The Vulcan Hello, the crew of the Shenzhou will make a startling discovery in space, which leaves Michael Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, torn between her duties as first officer. The episode title seems to hint at the main character's connection to the Vulcans. Burnham was a human raised by a Vulcan father, Sarek, who's also the father of Spock. Immediately following the debut of the Vulcan Hello, the second episode called Battle at the Binary Stars. God, I love that title. It sounds like golden age science fiction. That sounds like a original series title. That is awesome. Will be available on the CBS All Access streaming service. Episode 3, titled Context is for Kings, premieres October 1st, followed October 8th by The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cries. Oh my God, how great is that title right there, guys? That's a Klingon episode. Without a doubt. You can tell right here that episode 3 and 4, those are straight up Klingon episodes. Yeah, that is so good, so very, very good. So let's go one by one. The Vulcan Hello for the premiere. What do you think about that title, guys?
It's kind of self-explanatory, but awesome though.
I like it. It's a little weird. Maybe it's gonna be a little kind of a Vulcan heavy episode.
I can imagine so, and this is going to go into the next article we're going to look at tonight, where it talks about Michael Burnham's background a little bit more. There was a video that we're not going to be able to share because this episode would get copyright struck very, very quickly if we shared any promotional video, but we could talk about it. Look at some pictures. It's apparently Michael Burnham's upbringing on Vulcan is very, and there's some really cool pictures. It was a lot more kind of extensive than we kind of thought, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But it's going to be really interesting to see how her character kind of evolves. She's like the anti-Spock. In a lot of ways. So it's going to be really, really interesting. The second episode, Battle at the Binary Stars. Isn't that just an awesome, awesome title? God, it reminds me of a Robert Heinlein book. And that's like old school kind of golden age sci-fi. Robert Heinlein, Frank Herbert, Isaac Asimov, Philip K. Dick kind of science fiction titles. Binary Battle at the Binary Stars. Yes, please. That evokes a lot of great imagery, and we can assume by that title and what we know of the series that is going to be the episode that the Shinzo actually engages the Klingons. At least it's safe to assume that. And putting the word battle in the title implies that it's not this itty bitty skirmish, that it's a knockdown drag out.
It's about to go down, bro.
Right? Definitely.
And we won't have to wait a week to get it because they're doing the first 2 episodes, right?
Yes. The first episode is going to be on network television, and then immediately after that, the second episode is going to be on All Access.
Like, the second the network episode ends, the second episode is already up.
Yes, and it's going to be on All Access. So I can imagine there's going to be a big promo right at the end of the premiere. It's like, hey, you really like this? Well, the second episode is starting in 5 minutes. Download this app and sign up for All Access. And I'm sorry, but if unpopular opinion, if you Trekkies are bitching about doing $5.99 a month to watch a new Trek series, you don't deserve a new Trek series. Sorry, I'm just going to call it bluntly. And one viewer just quit. Like, sorry, guys. This is just the way it is. This isn't, socialist utopia. If you want good product, you have to pay for product. Welcome to reality.
I mean, hell, technically you can watch the first 3 episodes because CBS Access has a 7-day free trial.
There you go.
Sign up date night 1, watch the network premiere, watch the second episode. The next week will be your last day. Watch the 3rd episode.
There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
Super, super simple. $5.99 a month. How many human beings waste $5.99 a month? That's 3 sodas at work.
Yep.
If you forego getting 3 Coca-Colas at your job for a month, you've paid for All Access.
And you've lost a couple of pounds.
And you've lost a few pounds. So God knows I need to. Too many sodas. And that's why I'm drinking beer right now.
Like my soda belly.
So I've never understood. I don't get the bitching. I really don't. Yeah, but that's what the internet's for, right, guys?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
So let's talk about, let's see, third title, Context is for Kings. Now this is a much more cryptic title. Context is for Kings. I'm not even sure how I would really interpret that title.
No show synopsis, no
episode synopsis or anything. All we have is the title. So
if the first episode, right? So if the first episode is Burnham dealing with her heritage and the introduction of the Klingons and all hell breaking loose, the second is going to be definitely the aftermath.
See, it kind of makes me wonder if the third one is going to be kind of like a Klingon centric episode, not the conflict, but if this is going to be the episode where we get into the sarcophagus ship, we get into the Klingon fleet, and we follow T'Kuvma and L'Rell and the various Klingons that we're going to be getting to know in this season. And we've got another article here in just a second that we'll talk a little bit more about that, because there's some very interesting things in that article regarding the origin of these particular Klingons, which is something we predicted a few episodes back that this is probably the case. So we'll get to that in a few moments. Stay tuned. All right, the fourth episode. This is a great title. The butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cries. Oh,
Loosely translated, we don't care with you weak humans.
exactly. Say, I am superior than you, and your little namby-pamby whiny stuff has got to go. Like, you will be slaughtered. It's like I have a nicely sharpened batleth here, and it cares not that you're a whiny bitch.
It thirsts for your blood.
Oh, have y'all? What do you think about the new design of the batleth? Is sick. Well, I can't really call it a new design. I guess what we've learned this week, it's an old design, and it's wicked.
It actually looks like a useful weapon.
It does, because the bat. As a dude that has studied swords, the batleth is horrible. The traditional batleth is the most insanely useless bladed weapon ever made. It's just not a good weapon. But the one we see, the looks like the torchbearer character is wielding on the exterior hull of the sarcophagus ship is wicked looking.
I only saw the weapons one time, and that was I think Comic-Con.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Star Trek Discovery Torch Bearer Batleth.
It's more this one is more like a sword than the traditional curved weapon, correct?
Let me see. I got it right. Save image as. There we go. All right. Boom. Share application window. Share my entire screen for a moment. Woo, trippy. All right. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the batleth that is wielded by the torchbearer character in the first few episodes of Discovery. Now, this thing is wicked looking. I love that how it's curved outward as opposed to inward, like the batleth we see in the 23rd century or 24th century. This is wicked.
Like a giant metal bone.
Yeah, it's ancient looking, and there's a reason for that. So that is really cool.
So the way you hold that is in the middle, correct?
It appears to be, yes.
Okay, so basically it's more that the batleth is more of it can be a defensive and an offensive weapon at the same time, basically.
Right.
Okay.
And it definitely looks pretty wicked, that's for sure. All right, let's see what's next on the docket. That one is done. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and share this. Screen share, application window, share. And let's share with present to everyone. All right. So here we go. New videos reveal details on Michael Burnham and Star Trek Discovery production. Look at this picture right here, guys. Sonequa Martin Green's character, Michael Burnham, in traditional Vulcan dress with a traditional Vulcan haircut. The only thing she's missing is the pointed ear right there.
20 years.
I mean, she looks like a Vulcan right there.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Well, we found out something in this video right here. Get a behind-the-scenes look at Star Trek Discovery's artful production, which I cannot share right here. And First Officer Michael Burnham is a woman of two worlds in Star Trek Discovery. Again, something I can't share. It talks extensively about her background, how not only is she Spock's adopted sister and that Sarek is her adopted father, and that she was raised on Vulcan, but she went through the Vulcan learning centers and went to the Vulcan Science Academy as a human being. She went to the Vulcan Science Academy. That is a legit pedigree.
So technically, she's legit Vulcan.
In a lot of ways, like she is as Vulcan as they get without her going through freaking Kolinahr.
Yeah.
I mean, if she is capable enough to get through the Vulcan learning centers and to get through the Vulcan Science Academy as a human being, she has commanded a lot of respect from Vulcans, I imagine. Of course, you know, Vulcans aren't the perfect race by any shape or means of the word. Kind of makes you wonder how much xenophobia she had to face, or how much, you know, racism, speciesism that she may have had to face being a human being in a 100% Vulcan environment. It's like, oh, you're an emotional human being. What the hell are you doing in our school?
Mm.
So I'm very curious as to how that's going to play out.
You think that went down? You think, I don't know. I mean, with racism, that.
Yeah, I think it did. Because remember what we know about Vulcans. Vulcans are an incredibly passionate species. It's not that they don't have emotion. It's that they feel emotion so intensely, they've had to develop rituals to purge it. Otherwise, they're murdering madmen, i.e. Romulans.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
they're also extreme.
So they're basically Raven from Teen Titans, basically. Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how that played off. Now, I could be wrong, but that's not very interesting if I am. You know, I know how I'd write it. Well, we see.
So
we see that
when she's in the. When she's in the Vulcan traditional Vulcan getup, she's even got that condescending look that all Vulcans seem to have.
The condescending look.
Yep.
That look of condescension that so many Vulcans have.
I'm above you all.
Exactly. They can't help it. It's in their genetics. Like, how dare you feel emotion? I have purged myself of emotion. I am much better than you. I have followed the teachings of Surak so extensively. And you are just a weak, pathetic, emotion-driven human beast. So I'm willing to bet that she had experienced at least a taste of that growing up, because sentience is ugly at times. So let's go back to this article. All right, now we got some new images from the behind-the-scenes production. Gabriel Lorca and his Tribble. Now, we all know the trouble with Tribbles.
They're not doing this.
I doubt they're going to do a full-on Tribbles infest the ship and disrupt the EPS conduits episode, but that's a nice little touch. And in the trailer, he actually pets it. So it's like he has a pet Tribble. It's like, I wonder if it's been spayed and neutered. I wonder if Bob Barker would be happy.
Population.
Now here is the transporter room of either the Shinzo or the Discovery. Probably the Discovery. These dishes are so weird. They are unlike anything else that we've seen in Star Trek before, but they have a really wicked kind of retro, techno retro vibe to it. It looks like something that you would see in the 60s, but so much better in production value.
You were literally torn apart when you transported.
Right. Yeah, your molecules are torn apart, they're scanned, they're digitized, and then sent elsewhere, and then recombined. Yeah. There's a whole 1 minute physics on YouTube video about how you're not the same person after you've been to a transport.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're literally just a copy of yourself.
Crap.
So this little booth is really cool looking. Again, it's got a really cool kind of techno retro vibe to it. It looks really, really awesome. This looks to be Captain Georgiou's ready room. Got her desk back here. Got some cool stuff back here in the back. It looks like the officers' conference table here. It's really, really cool. And, of course, this can't be modern Star Trek without lens flare. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. This is really nice.
Gotta have some JJ influence in there somewhere.
Well, he has a wonderful visual style. We could talk about, the J.J. Abrams movies all we want. But we can't deny that they look cool as hell. They are slick. I'm really digging the Starfleet Command seal right here. That's really, really nifty. Really, really classic. There's a little variation from the seal from the past, but not by much. Not by much. This is really, really classic Star Trek right here, and looks really, really wicked. Now this dude, I think this might be Doug Jones's character, the Kelpian. It's kind of got the reverse jointed stuff right here going down. Very wicked, weird shoes. It's kind of cool. We always knew this was true, but to kind of see that, okay, the Starfleet uniform does adapt for species. And one of the things, actually, while we're looking at this,
hell, they do walk.
right? I love the buckles on the boots, and all the species service boots have these buckles, be it human or what have you, and it's got the delta right here, and how the delta is color coded for your specialization. It's bronze for ops, silver for science, and gold for command. That's really cool. This, I don't know what this is. Well, this is a set, obviously, so you can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff over here. But I'm not sure what this is. It almost looks like the various times that we've seen the Vulcan Learning Academies and the Vulcan Science Academies, when you have the Vulcan children down in the pit, kind of learning, moving around and looking at all the various different displays and readouts and stuff like that, and they're being quizzed. We did see a really cool version of that in the J.J. Abrams movies with young Spock. So I wonder if that kind of visual cue of the science academies or the Vulcan learning centers is being carried over into the prime timeline as well, which again is perfectly okay. Here we have Klingons. This is a practical set, probably from the Resurrection or the Sarcophagus ship, to Guvma's ship right here. Look at the ornate kind of filigree right through here is just gorgeous. And I love these banisters and railings. In a weird way, this almost looks like Rivendell from Middle Earth. It's got a legit kind of ancient vibe to to it and how it's designed. Very, 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 very cool. Actually, you see one of the Klingons right there. This one looks to be an albino Klingon. Let's see, paint application of James Fran's Sarek, Vulcaneers. Nothing really to talk about there. Georgiou, Michelle Yeoh's Captain Georgiou, throwing down with a Klingon. And this is the ship. This appears to be the same ship from right here, because you can see the kind of filigree right back here in the background. Very, very, very cool designs. I love this Klingon armor, especially now that we know what we know about it. Here we are. We're on either the Shenzhou or the Discovery. This looks to be the Shenzhou, based on this ship design right here. This readout, the ship readout. So this would be the Shenzhou. Looks to be engineering console, warp core readouts. Maybe warp bubbles right through here. Really, really cool. And one of the cool things about this set is that these aren't blue screens. These are on set and active. Now, if you look right through here, this is one of the coolest things to me. So we have these really cool touchscreens right here. But look, those are toggles. These are toggles and switches and dials. That is awesome. That is that original series aesthetic carried over into the modern era. Switches, dials, sliders, toggle switches right through here. The buttons, the light up buttons like the Apollo 11 capsule. This is wicked.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Just looking at the chat, the red carpet premiere is happening as we speak.
Oh. Well, I should be watching that, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll get the rebroadcast. Right through here, it looks to be the brig. And why is Michael Burnham in the brig? This is a really cool design. Again, unlike anything we've ever seen in Trek before, yet it's still hard. It's still obviously Star Trek. Really, really cool design. Exterior shot of the Shenzhou bridge. Right here, it looks like we have Captain Georgiou right there by Michelle Yeoh. Nothing really to talk about here. We are in a transporter room right here. You see the kind of Starfleet issue body armor right there for the away team, which is new and wicked. Love the new phaser, and you can see the transporter beam starting to come in here as she is transported, weapons up, and you can actually see that in the promotional video that her and Georgiou are being transported, weapons drawn, ready to fight. Here's a continuation of that. Weapons drawn. You can see the transporter beam right there, and the digitization. That's not even really a word of their bodies. Really, really, really freaking cool. Looks to be transporter pad. Yep, definitely transporters. Transporter pad 7, 8, and 9. And that typical slider that we see in all Star Trek. Right through here. This looks to be the Klingon vessel. So this is them being transported to the Klingon vessel. This appears to be their target screen for where they're being transported to. Really, really freaking cool. And I love how it's not LCARS, because obviously LCARS is in the future, but you can see the influences of LCARS right through here. The random number readouts, that really don't have any, significance to anyone other than, Starfleet officers. Michael Burnham, after getting her butt kicked, probably by the torchbearer. And this is Captain Georgiou. Now you know this is Captain because you got the gold ribbing here on the shoulder sections, right through here. Another readout of her EV suit with the rocket packs on the back, which is really freaking cool. Here we go. This is that pit that I was talking about before. They definitely carried over that aesthetic from the J.J. Abrams universe. This is obviously Michael Burnham, maybe 10, 11 years old, reading, the Vulcan readout. This is definitely the Science Academy or the Learning Centers. Again, really, really cool. Really cool stuff. And you can see she's either learning about Klingons or this is right when the Klingons attack because you got the Klingon insignias right through here. This is the image from the front, Sarek, Georgiou, Burnham. And there she is, trying to be Vulcan, but you can see it in her eyes. No matter how she tries, she's a human being. Really, really nifty. So, what do you think about that run of imagery from the latest promotional video?
Do you want to watch the show more?
No doubt.
To get you hyped up even more.
I think one thing is for certain: this show looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
The production values are so high. The art design, the set design, the costume design. Oh, it all looks amazing.
Going back to that shot as Burnham as a little girl in the Learning Center, man, just all that stuff in front of her, behind her, everywhere she looked, she had something in front of her. I was like, man, how does a Vulcan kid don't go through sensory overload,
Right. Yeah, could you imagine putting a human kid in that?
Brain will fry.
Yeah. Human beings are too all over the place. I can imagine my 4-year-old son in something like that. Man, it would just be, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. He'd just be all over the place. It's all over the place. Really, really cool looking, though. Really awesome design. And I do like that aesthetic that we saw, in the J.J. Abrams films. I think we saw something similar in Search for Spock. Which one? No, not Search for Spock.
Maybe.
The Voyage Home, when they pick Spock up from Vulcan.
That was more like a panel, a few panels.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, and I wonder though, going back to that, the Vulcan kid. I wonder if that having so much information around. I wonder if it's supposed to be that way to help teach them to focus.
I mean, that's as good an idea as any right there. It really is. Wouldn't make sense.
You have no choice but to focus.
Yeah. I mean, it really does make sense.
You turn into it and say you have to solve this. Focus on only what you need, not the extraneous stuff around you.
Right. So, all right. Well, let's trade gears once again, and let's check out this article. Let me go ahead and get that clicky-McClickied. Share that. And go ahead and present to everybody. Here we go. Finally, why Star Trek Discovery's Klingons look so different. Now, this is such a cool article. Honor to the Klingon Empire has been restored. After months of speculation, it looks like there's finally a solid explanation for the radical new look for the Klingons on Star Trek Discovery. On Thursday, Trek Corps exerted an interview with Discovery writer Ted Sullivan from the magazine SFX. In it, Sullivan explains what the new Klingon sarcophagus ship is all about. It's a 200-year-old ship. This is a group of Klingons who've gone back to a Puritan way of life. They look very differently. They wear armor that's 200 years old, and they don't have any hair, Sullivan said. Their commander runs his Klingon house, the House of T'Kuvma, by the rules of Kahless, the Klingon Messiah. He calls himself the second coming of the Klingon Messiah, so this dude thinks he's freaking Kahless. Sullivan also claimed that his specific Klingon house was one never before seen in any version of Star Trek. What it means. From a production design standpoint, the new Klingons look awesome, but now that they actually being revealed to be old Klingons, the canon of Star Trek Discovery can retcon around the cosmetic differences between these Klingons and the more traditional ones seen in the majority of Trek. If these Klingons have been isolated from the rest of their species, the difference in their appearances can be explained. 200 years is an interesting figure. 2, simply because it establishes that Klingons have been capable of interstellar travel way before humans were. The time of the prequel series, Star Trek Enterprise, was in the 2150s. Discovery takes place in the 2250s. And you can see this wicked-looking ship right there. So quick 200-year-old math seems that this Klingon ship is from 2050, only 3 decades in our own future. Sarcophagus ship is older than the NX-01 Enterprise and predates the event of Star Trek First Contact, so this is before humans made first contact with Vulcans, making it feel like a deeper Trek magic from before the dawn of Trek. So that is cool. All this can be, there are several different types of Klingons on Star Trek Discovery, including the long-haired Next Generation variety, because the events of Discovery will revolve around the infamous war between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. It looks like there's a good chance that the encounter with these Puritan Klingons will trigger that conflict. Also, because Commander Michael Burnham's parents were killed by Klingons on the planet Vulcan when she was a child, stands to reason that those Klingons might look like the ones Star Trek fans are familiar with. So that is cool. That's the best possible way to do this. So we are coming across, a splinter thing. It's like, oh, you weak ass Klingons, you haven't followed the way of Kahless, so we're going to separate ourselves from you. And they've been rediscovered, or they've decided to reassert themselves in Klingon politics. Super cool. They shave their head. They wear the 200-year-old armor. Their ships are ancient.
They're Klingon Romulans, basically.
They're Klingon Romulans, which is awesome. And it makes sense because now we're opening up the potential to have very interesting stories. Because as we learned in Enterprise, when the what was it? He was either a doctor or a school teacher. He was talking with Archer, and he goes, "You didn't think we were all warriors, did you?" And Archer's like, "Yeah, I kind of did." Yeah. Maybe there's a chance now that these Klingons start this war, and then other Klingons go, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not all of us. We can find a better path. Slow your roll. Now we're getting the potential to tell some very interesting stories.
It couldn't have been too many of those Klingons that said slow your roll, find a better path, because this is a major event in Trek. The war happened.
Oh yeah, the war absolutely happened.
But this new faction, or this older faction of Klingons, they start this war, but they're going to go first. They're going to go first,
right? And
they've dragged the rest of the Klingon Empire into it.
Maybe if these Klingons have been out on their own for a couple of 100 years, breeding and growing, and there's no telling how many splintered off. They might have it might be a sizable faction. Several thousand Klingons, several hundred ships maybe. I mean, it could be a huge faction. And of course, there's going to be those in the Klingon Empire proper. I can imagine the people of Kronos are like, you know what? yeah, we have stepped away from Kalos' teachings. I like this guy. Let's go follow him. And we can see that schism in the Klingon Empire between those that are, the religious zealots, the holy rollers, the warriors only kind of Klingons, versus those that are not.
Yeah, I was about to say that this new group or the leader, he's nothing but a zealot. You know what I mean? So I am the second coming. Like, oh yeah, right. Oh, man.
I mean, if he thinks he's the second coming of God, this dude's got issues.
Yeah, major.
And it's going to make him dangerous. Some of the most dangerous people on our planet are religious zealots.
They'll do anything and everything to push their way upon you, keep control of the group he has.
I will cut out your tongue to prove that my Sky Guy is the right one.
Yep.
Well, the Klingon, so yes, they will.
Yeah. So again, this gives them some great opportunities to tell some very challenging stories, and we can dive deep into Klingon culture in a way that we haven't before. We've got the redemption of the House of Mogh from Next Generation. We have the Klingon Civil War of Deep Space Nine, and and then their subsequent teaming up with the Federation to fight the Dominion. So we've had chances to deep dive into Klingon culture before, but this potentially gives us a whole nother angle to look at their society. To look at their religion, their history, their traditions. We know that Worf was a follower of Kahless, but with Worf, it kind of felt that he was compensating because he was raised by humans. So he kind of latched onto that to try to rekindle his Klingon-ness. There's a potential to really tell some very interesting things right here, and to tell some challenging stories, which is what Star Trek excels at.
Well, how much of a deep dive do you think we're going to get? In a 15 episode first season, how far do you think they'll go? I mean, obviously the start. Yeah, we'll get the start. But not. We'll get the start of the story, but not the middle.
Well, we don't really know. I think there's potential for quite a bit, actually, because of the way the story is being told now. With the it's not on network television, so it doesn't have to be crammed into a 45-minute episodic, singular episode. We'll have an hour and 5 minutes for every episode. And then with that burden of not being on network television removed, you can tell more challenging stories. You don't have to softball it like it has been done in the past. So there's a lot of opportunity for some real meat to be on the bones of these episodes. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we might get, if we get over the course of 15 episodes this first season, if we get 3 full hours, or like 3 hours and 15 minutes to dig into Klingon culture, I think they absolutely could really do some really good things. So, well, guys, we're about to hit that hour mark. So I guess we're going to have to go ahead and call this episode. This was our last kind of preview warm-up to the main event next weekend. And we're getting our 2 episodes on Sunday. We'll reconvene right here after those episodes and go nuts, which is super awesome.
So this
Cannot wait.
So this is our kickoff and go home show at the same time.
Yeah, Yeah, this is it, man. This is our all right. We've talked about the show. I think over the last 6 hours of exploring Star Trek Discovery, we've explored quite a bit of the show. I don't know what else we can discuss. I think now we went into the ships, we went into the designs, we went into the characters, we went into the concept of canon and its importance. We went into what does it mean to be a TVMA show. Now we went into the production art and more character stuff. We have ripped this show apart and put it back together now, and now we are ready to just boldly go where we haven't been in a long time.
No pun intended.
No, pun was entirely intended, sir.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So any final thoughts on our kind of preview section of our show going into the premiere? What do you think, guys? After everything we've talked about over the past 6 weeks, what do you think?
Time to go boldly, boldly go. Let's go. Let's see the Shinzu get smoked and see this stuff.
Oh yeah.
To put it more bluntly, it's time to put up or shut up.
It really is. It really is.
Let's go.
Just time to drop it and let it go.
Right?
See how it goes.
And I think that's all there is to really say about that. And we invite all of our viewers to go on this journey with us. I got to talk about the contest one more time. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Get entered in for our big push to 100 subscribers. You'll get entered in for your subscription box of your choice, either the A box, the Geek Fuel box, or the standard Loot Crate. For whatever month we finally hit that 100 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Right now. There is no reason not to, because we're going to be back on Sunday night, and we're going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery each and every week the show is gone on. We're going to review, we're going to discuss, we're going to deep dive, we're going to talk about its implications and how it affects canon and how it affects Star Trek as we know. So there is no reason for you to just hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead and do it. I'm Average Joe, the Average Geek. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, I got my bridge crew, Kevin Stallings, Pat Whitehead, speaking for Will Smith, that has gone AWOL and will be firing squad by Phaser. And
Snooze.
y'all have a good night. We will see y'all again soon. And as always,
That's by snooze.
live long and prosper.